you share with your bank if you can get a loan?
No clue.
Yeah. And do you borrow?
Not really.
In India, where many have no borrowing history, credit can be hard to come by.
We borrow money from our parents.
But what India has a lot of is data, and it's growing. Phone makers are predicting 1.4 billion smartphone subscriptions by 2020. People who offer more of their online information can get detailed profiles to help them access credit, sometimes for the first time.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't mind sharing my social media if that makes it comfortable.
If you really think about it, they already have all our information with Google and everything being around. They pretty much know what we do.
And it's setting startups a challenge of how well they can know their client from a digital footprint. Startup Phenomena offers credit for online purchases. The company is paperless, cashless, and doesn't have a branch. It gathers data from mobile phones and social media to build behavioral profiles of clients. The Indian government allows companies like Phenomena to verify their customers' identities, signatures, and other important documents like school records against its own biometric database as part of a project, India Stack. It helps Phenomena build credit scores for its clients, of which more than 2/3 are borrowing for the first time.
If a traditional banking environment only has 4 variables, they can only deduplicate on 4 variables. If I have 40, I can look at that exact same thing on 40, right? So again, it's very same foundational concepts, but applied in a way which can take advantage of the fact that we simply have more information on people.
Access to credit can be difficult for Indian households. There's only around 2 active credit cards for every 100 people. Phenomena's co-founder, Riddhi Mittal, says it's offered close to 10,000 loans in the past year. Some of its clients make just $150 a month.
A lot of the other fringe occupations have needs which were always overlooked because they're not traditionally salaried, right? So it could be writers, it could be content writers. We've given loans to RJs and DJs and...
Thousands of miles away, Chinese companies like WeLab have been on the leading edge of developing credit profiles using online information.
We discovered that a disproportionate amount of people poor credit borrowers actually come in the middle of the night, not surprisingly, during 1 to 6 a.m. Now, probably it's lifestyle, probably it's if you're worried about money, if you're middle of the night, you're probably in quite desperate need.
Some startups collecting mobile data say a person rarely answering phone calls may have a higher default risk. People who let their phone battery run at very low levels can be marked as unreliable. Fintech in China is grappling with fraud and defaults, a result in part of fast growth.
When it comes to data security, I think the issue is that we're all trying to drive F1 cars, Formula 1 cars, in roads that were made for horse carriages. Unfortunately, the regulatory framework is not really adapted to how technology, especially in the financial services context, has evolved over the years.
There are also concerns with how these new credit models cope under stress. Back in India, some worry the government's database for India Stack could be exposed and abused by hackers. But advocates hope the initiative will turbocharge India's tech sector. The team at Phenomena hope that access to database profiling could cut through bias and help make credit more widely available.
Now finally we're at a point where we've had 10 years of new startups coming in, new products coming in, new services coming in, and people using them. Which then means there's a whole bunch of footprint which has gotten generated today. But again, we're not still at the cusp, let's say 20 years from now, when a lot of the problems are solved. Which makes it a very interesting time for problem solvers.